Connecting. Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah. So according to my back admin stuff, we are live. We're back. It's been a while. Feels like it's been forever, but it's only been 2 weeks. But we're back in the building. It is Friday night, which means y'all understand what's about to happen. The new people, they don't get it yet, but they will in a few short moments. The people that have been here before, they know what's coming, so they are preparing themselves. They're making their last second preparations, whatever they got to do. They're making their preparations. The regulars understand the procedure. So, what's happening? Hello, I missed you all, but we're back. We're back in the building. It's Friday night, so let's go ahead and get this party started, and let's go to work. Current time. I don't have my watch on right now, but the current time is 6:01 p.m. Central Standard Time, which means you are in the right place. You are on the right YouTube channel, baby. Yes. So now that we get that out the way, like I said, the regulars understand. The regulars understand what's about to happen here. But for you new people that ain't never been into a Viper live stream before, or if for whatever reason you catch the replay of this live stream, this is the part where I'm going to need you. Yes, you. I'm talking to you, watching and listening. I'm gonna need you to turn your volume down. Because if you don't turn your volume down, I will not be held liable for what your neighbors think about you listening to some loud dude on YouTube. That's on you, not on me. That's on you, not on me. Yeah, definitely not on me. I gave y'all the disclaimer. You know what to do. So, with that out of the way, go ahead and let's go to work and let's see what we got. You know what? Should I do a normal style? Should I do it my other? Should I do it the other way? There's so many ways that we can do this. Should I do it? Should I do it? I don't know. Decisions, man. Decisions. You know what? Let's just keep it old school tonight. We haven't been here in a while. Let's just keep it old school. Let's just do it old school. Sorry. Do it old school. Here we go. Woo! This is your last warning to turn your volume down. Right. It is your last warning, as the meme says. Can we get that over here? Right. Your last warning, turn your volume down. All right. Let's go to work. It's been a while. What's up, people? This your boy Viper, the man about tech, and we are Welcome to Friday Night Fight, baby! Woo! Woo! Oh, yeah! It is that day again. We are back. We are live on YouTube. Now, normally, this would be the part of the live stream where I say something to the effect of, before I get started with tonight's festivities, let me see who I got in the chat tonight. But it's been 2 weeks. There's like nobody in the chat. Well, I see people, I want to say, damn, there's like nobody in the chat. There are very few of you. So it's cool. It's cool. I know it's been a while. But shout out to my man, Barry Johnson. What's up, sir? How you doing? Good to see you out there. We got Cool Gamer. What's up, Cool Gamer? How you doing? What's going on with you? Hey, Gwendolyn G is here. Hey, Gwendolyn, how you doing? What is happening? What is going on? Who else we got? Alan Osborne is here. What's up, Alan? How you doing? What's going on, man? Good to see you. We got my homie from the UK, Marvin Wallace is in the building. What's up, Marvin? How you doing? Damn, that went up quick. Wisdom Empire is here. What's up, bro? How you doing? We got the Norwegian sensation, Elvin. Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing, baby? Wow, where y'all come from? There was like nobody here a minute ago, and now there's 20 people watching. What is happening? Did YouTube just send out the notification? What's going on? What is this? We got Lonnie McCorky over here. What's up, Lonnie? How you doing? That is the weirdest thing. There was literally no one here. Now it's like 20 of you here. This is crazy. We got Dennis coming from Sweden. What's up, Dennis? How you doing, man? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you in the cut. What is going on up in here? So, So I put out a tweet the other day, right? Uh, I put out a tweet about all the things that I've accomplished as a creator over the past 5 years, right? Um, hey, we have Andrew Walker in here. Hey, Andrew, how you doing? So I put out the tweet the other day about the accomplishments that I've had as a creator over the past 5 years. And of course, when you put stuff like that out into the internet, people are going to come at you sideways. They're going to come at you in some type of way because they don't have anything else to do with their lives. So I was just talking about all the different things that I've done, how I've made 500 videos. I've done over 500 live streams. I've done over 500 videos. I've done over 500 live streams. And actually, oddly enough, this live stream tonight will be the 600th video on this particular YouTube channel, which is kind of crazy. 600 videos on this channel alone. Like, bro, that means I've done probably over 500 live streams. Or actually, all the videos I've done on here are live streams, but there was a couple of videos that I uploaded when I first started the channel that were past live streams. So we're probably at around 590 something odd live streams that I've done on this channel, which is kind of outrageous when you think about it. But yeah, we're like at 500 some odd 90 live streams. Like, damn, Viper, Jesus. Yeah. So your boy Viper's been doing a lot. Been a 2-time MC at Vid Summit. Been in the creator game 5 years and different things like that. And then you know how, like I said, how people do on Twitter, they be like, "Yo, why are you putting your stuff out there? Why are you explaining stuff?" With people that gotta tell you how important they are, ain't important. I'm thinking to myself, what does any of that have to do with me being important? Yo, I didn't say anything about being important. All I did was put out my resume because even today, 5 years later, people still want to act a fool when they see me at work on the vidIQ live streams or different things like that, or when they see me online, they want to be like, "Who are you? What have you done?" I'm like, bro, don't get it twisted, fools. Just because I don't have the biggest sub count does not mean I am not a force in the creative space, bro. I've been a force for 5 years, yo. I don't need the sub count. Everybody wants to belly who about sub counts and follower counts and act as that's the whole end all be all. Act like your sub count is the only validation that they need. Bro, Viper's been dangerous long before I got all these accomplishments. I just started racking them up as I was going along. I have never hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. I've never done that. The highest I got to was 6,000, right? And I'm still one of the well-known names in the tech space on this platform. But people still want to act a fool when I'm like out here working or doing something. Like, bro, you need to do your homework before you come for the king, bro. Okay. Don't do your damn homework. Don't come at me. Okay. I've been here. I've been doing this thing for 5 years. Okay. I don't need the high sub count. I mean, it's nice to have all that, but my resume is long without it. Resume is stacked. Okay. The Viper resume is stacked. Like I said, this is like video number 600 on this channel alone. Don't act a fool. Don't act brand new out here. Don't act brand new when it comes to Viper. I'm out here crushing it as I do. Janosis, what's up, bro? How you doing? Good to see you out here. Happy Friday. What's happening? So that was just a little interesting observation that I had on Twitter this week. People being uninformed, thinking that they know Viper. You don't know Viper. You don't know what I've done. You ain't done your research. You ain't done your homework. Of course, you can't understand. You don't know who I am. But let's just get right into the meat and potatoes of the live stream, right? I was just sitting back thinking about what I wanted to talk about tonight, and something that really like I've been thinking about lately is Apple, and thinking about Apple and how they've been kind of content for a while with their product, with their hardware offerings and different things like that. Um, and it caused me to think, could Apple, as crazy as it sounds, and just typing this and talking about this is blasphemous for coming from me especially, but it made me think, could Apple end up being the next BlackBerry? And we know what happened to BlackBerry, right? BlackBerry kind of pretty much because of their unwillingness to adapt with the change in the market and the change in technology, they kind of got passed up and left behind. And I'm kind of thinking, could the same thing happen to Apple? So what am I talking about? What do you mean, Viper? Can Apple become the next BlackBerry? Now, this title, this live stream been blasphemous from the jump. So let's just start with blasphemy out of the gate. iMessage, right? We always talk about the Apple ecosystem and how that keeps people locked into using Apple and their products and services, right? And one of the big factors when we talk about the Apple ecosystem is iMessage, right? But iMessage is primarily a North American thing. US, Canada, Mexico, whatever, right? if you go to other parts of the world, they don't even use iMessage. They're using WhatsApp and Weibo and Facebook Messenger and different things like that. They could care less about WhatsApp. So while iMessage might be the predominant reason that people stick with Apple and different things like that, it's a small part of the overall use of messengers and messaging services in the entire world because the rest of the world doesn't give two monkeys nipples about iMessage. So there's been this big controversy lately with Google trying to get Apple to adopt RCS and all that goes with that, right? And for the longest time, I'm like, you know what? Apple, when I mentioned they're doing good, they don't really need to adopt RCS. It's not going to hurt Apple and this, that, and the other, right? And I still believe that, but it also kind of reminds me of what happened with Blackberry and BBM. Blackberry kept BBM to themselves for the longest time, and eventually the world moved on to using other forms of communication, and BBM got left behind. And by the time BlackBerry started sharing BBM with other platforms and different things like that, it was already too late. They were left. It was done. Nobody cared anymore. So I kind of wonder if Apple doesn't adapt and adopt other forms of messaging or integrate them into iMessage. Could iMessage end up being or going the way of BBM over a period of time? Now, obviously, this is not going to be something that happens immediately because, ironically, as I talk about this, the iPhone is actually gaining market share, at least in North America, and I think in other parts of the world, the iPhone is gaining market share. So this is not something that could happen immediately. But you know what they say, right? Those who don't observe history are doomed to repeat it. And if Apple keep resting on their laurels and they keep iMessage an exclusive thing, will eventually the rest of the world just pass them by and leave them in their dust and just leave Apple with iMessage, and the rest of the world move on to some other richer, better messaging communication, like what happened with BlackBerry. So that's one thing that I was thinking about. Then the hardware, right? I mean, listen, iPhones have like not really changed as far as hardware go for a while now. Primarily, they look like this. You know, you got the dynamic island, they got a notch or whatever. Androids, they're doing different things. They got in-display camera systems. They got bezel-less displays. The iPhone's trying to get there, but it's not there yet. But the iPhone hardware, by and large, has looked the same mostly throughout its entirety. Now, it has changed. They did do the radical redesign from iPhone 8 to iPhone 10, so I give them that. But other than iPhone 10 and different things like that, and Apple increasing the size of the iPhone with iPhone 6, has the iPhone like design really like changed much? If you take out the phone getting bigger and the notch, I don't know. I feel like Android manufacturers are much more innovative when it comes to hardware design. They're at the forefront of implementing new hardware features on their phones. Now, we always talk about how Apple is usually last to adopt different hardware and software aspects because they want to make sure that the technology is perfect and different things like that. And there's definitely some merit to that. But at the same time, again, if you're this slow with adopting new technology, do they run the risk of being left behind? I wonder. Now, again, this is kind of sounds blasphemous coming out of my mouth, but empire fall, okay? Nobody stays on top forever. So as good as we think Apple is, one day Apple will not be the Apple that we know it today. They will fall and somebody will replace them and so on and so forth as history will go. Because that's just the way things work. You can't stay on top forever. Eventually you fall and somebody else comes and takes your place and we move on to the next thing. Especially in a field as rapidly evolving in technology, where things are changing year to year or day to day, more accurately. Apple and their unwillingness to kind of adapt at a faster pace could potentially lead to their downfall. Could, again, will this happen anytime soon? No, not really. But could it happen over a period of time? Yes, it can. Which brings me to software. Now, this is the big one right here, software, iOS, right? Ask yourself this question for all my Apple people in the chat tonight. Has iOS changed dramatically since iOS 1? I don't think so. I mean, yeah, Apple has added new features and different functions to iOS, oh, of course, but by and large, iOS is the same thing it was when it first debuted back in what is it? What I think it was the iPhone 3 or something like that, 3GS, something like that. I don't know. But iOS has largely remained unchanged for over a decade. And again, you got other manufacturers like on the Android side, they're constantly evolving their OS and different things like that. But Apple and iPhone and iOS have largely remained the same for over 10 years. Now, there is a saying out there, and we have to bring it up. We have to talk about it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So iOS has been working for a lot of people. And of course, Apple sells a lot of iPhones each and every year. So why would they change the core user experience if people are not having a problem with it? But I go back to what I said about Blackberry and BBM and staying in place. When you are running in place and you continue to run in place, somebody will eventually run past you. So, as good as iOS is, it's still the same thing that we've been using for 10 plus years. It has not largely changed. I mean, I still have a complaint today about how iOS does not take advantage of larger iPhone screen real estate. Why am I still talking about this when large iPhones have been a thing for almost 10 years? And for 10 years, Apple has not found a way to take advantage of the bigger iPhone screen real estate. I've been talking about this for 6 and 7 years. Larger iPhones have been a thing since 2014. That's 9 years. 9 years. Apple has not taken advantage of the larger screen display on iPhones. I am still talking about how Apple has not taken advantage of the extra screen real estate. Look at the app grid layout, right? You still can't put apps where you want. They finally adopted picture in picture finally. So at least they got that going on. But you still can't run split screen multitasking on apps. You can't run apps side by side on iPhone. And there's like actual legitimate multitasking that you still can't do on iPhone. You got app switching, which is not app multitasking. So even though we have these larger iPhones and we've had these larger iPhones for a 10-year period now, I would argue that the development as far as the software goes still is underwhelming. Even on iPads still, I feel like, are underdeveloped as far as it relates to iPad OS. Me and Trenton have talked about this multiple times, how the iPads are limited by their software. They have the best hardware like on any tablet, but the software is so limiting and what you can't do with an iPad that it just stands to reason and makes you think about why. Why is Apple like nerfing the iPad? Like I don't understand, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. So Genosis is still on his John Wick high. Yeah, for everybody that's seen that movie, they say it's been pretty good. So I'm gonna have to maybe go check that out at some point this weekend. So I'm gonna have to do that. I have to do that. Hey, I don't want to sit here and say that Apple is doomed. But what I will say is that if Apple doesn't evolve faster, they could potentially be left behind. Apple is not immune to getting left behind. Apple is a great company. They have a great foundation in place with their ecosystem and different things like that. But they are not immune to being left behind if they don't evolve at a faster rate. iMessage, again, it's the thing right now. But if they want to keep iMessage to themselves, they could be the next Blackberry. They could get passed up like Blackberry and BBM got passed up. Apple is not immune, okay? The iPhone hardware, it changed very little over the past 10 plus years. Android OEMs, I feel like, have made better hardware innovations on their phones. The iOS software and iPadOS software has largely remained unchanged for a decade. Like, it's these things that I'm looking at, and I'm like, as great as Apple is, their failure to innovate at a faster pace may get them left in the dust. As good as they are, if something is faster and more efficient and works better, the people will choose the faster, efficient thing that works better every single time, no matter how it all just works and all that stuff. Apple needs to understand that, bruh, we need faster innovation. We need you to act like you understand that the technology market is rapidly evolving every year, and maybe you should start giving a damn about things that are going on. It took Apple, 5 years to adopt wireless charging? Samsung had wireless charging in 2013, I think. Apple didn't have wireless charging until what was it? Where we at? I think 2018, 2017, I think. 2017, I think Apple finally adopted it. 2017 or 2018. So after Samsung adopted it in 2013, Apple didn't adopt it until 2017. 4 whole years. Bro, come on, man. Come on now. Come on. And just as I don't know, BBM never had Apple money, even compared Apple money to Blackberry tires. That may be true. That may be true. But the reason why Apple has their money is because they've been smart about how they're implementing everything and making it work together. But if you don't make the software better, which ties everything together, and your competitors are figuring out ways to make their software better at a faster rate, how long can you hold on to that lead? How long will it last? Again, as good as Apple is, as good as they are, they're going to get passed up one day. I'm just wondering if it might happen sooner rather than later because they seem like they're complacent. Now, I could be completely off on this, and maybe when WWDC rolls around later this year in a few months, Apple will do something to blow my mind, and maybe I'll have to rethink this whole live stream. But until that happens, I am saying what I'm saying, and it's on record, and it'll be on replay. So if you see that in a few months in June, that when Apple announces WWDC 2023 and things remain largely unchanged in the software department, then you can come back to the slot and be like, yo, Viper said it. Viper said that, yo. So I'm just, I don't know. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about this in the chat. Do you think that Apple has been evolving a little too slowly? Or do you think Apple is okay running in their own lane? I mean, I don't know, man. I just feel like there needs to be some changes to Apple as it relates to how things are evolving over there, because I feel like if they keep running in place, they're gonna get passed up. It is what it is. Prince says, Viper, Apple already confirmed you can move apps anywhere in 20 years. Oh my God. He said 20 years. He said 20 years. You got joke, bro. You got joke. Yo, Easy Computer Solutions. What's up, Eric? How you doing, man? Good to see you out here, bro. What's going on with you? What's going on with you? Hopefully you're doing well, man. All right, Prince says, Apple needs an upgrade to software like One UI. Samsung dropped TouchWiz and the software got better. Exactly. See, right. We used to hate TouchWiz back in the day, but Samsung took that feedback and created an entirely different user experience with One UI. And we are now loving One UI. Now, nobody is saying that we hate iOS. So, again, iOS is not the worst thing in the world. But what I'm saying is that iOS has largely remained unchanged for over a decade. It is still the same iOS we were using 10 years ago. It has not changed. It's boring. It works, but it's boring. It's not exciting. And it's not that functional. It's not that much. It's not that more functional than it was 10 years ago. It's still iOS. Yo, Manir, what's up, man? How you doing, dude? Good to see you out here. We got Manir in the building. I appreciate all of y'all dropping in, man. Again, if you disagree with me or whatever, and y'all feel differently, let me know, man. Let me know. But I'm just thinking out loud, man. I'm just thinking out loud because, I don't know. There's some stuff to think about what's happening in the tech space. It's interesting. All right, Lobo says Samsung started wireless charging in 2011 or 2012. It's somewhere around there. It was a while ago. It was definitely a long time ago. So Apple, whatever it was, though, Lobo, whatever it was, it took Apple and a very long time to adopt it on their iPhones. It took them at least 4 or 5 years. So it's kind of crazy. Janelle says I think you have to convince Apple mass consumer first before Apple. See, Janelle, that was the thing about Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs was so good that he would give us things that before we even realized that we needed it. Now I know that Steve Jobs is no longer with us. May he rest in peace. But back when Steve Jobs was at the helm, Apple was ahead of the curve. They are no longer ahead of the curve, and they're continuously being left behind in terms of technology and functionality and different things like that. Now, again, they have such a like you said, they have such a large amount of money that they make, and they have such a good foundation in place that what I'm talking about tonight might not affect Apple for a very long time. But I still feel like if they don't try to figure something out and try to evolve at a faster pace, it could eventually catch up with them. Again, no company is perfect. They all fall. even your best company, the company that we are talking about today, the Apple, the Google, the Samsung, will we be talking about some of these companies in the next 20 years? Maybe, but there probably will be new companies that are going to be right there with them. Things change, man. Things change. And it's interesting to hear Google continuously argue about RCS, and people are starting. I think they're really starting to drink the Google Kool Aid as it relates to RCS. I think even some of the Apple people are starting to drink that Kool Aid as it relates to RCS and how Apple and iPhone are now the ones that are behind the bad messaging experience that iPhone users get when they are talking with Android people. I mean, and if we look at it from the other side, we look at that from the other side, right? The whole green bubble, blue bubble thing is an Apple creation. And we all agree that that's very toxic in the way that people are going about how they are trying to separate green bubble, blue bubble. Even though Apple didn't intend it to turn into that type of conversation, that's on Apple. Apple are the ones that separated or distinguish between green bubbles and blue bubbles. So even though it's not Apple's fault that the conversation has turned very toxic about this green bubble, blue bubble, it is still on Apple. So I think a lot of people are looking at Apple like, yeah, you all are the cause of this messaging incongruency because you all won't play fair with Google and different things like that, and you are the catalyst behind the whole green bubble, blue bubble controversy and how it's dividing people and things like that. Again, I don't think it's Apple's fault, but it's their technology and it's decisions that they made that have led to this division among people just over what messaging platform they're using. So again, it's interesting to think about. I don't think anything is happening anytime soon, but it is something to think about. All right, let's see. Prince says that the iPhone 15 doesn't have USB Type C. I'm going to be heated. I don't think you have nothing to worry about there. I think Apple will have USB Type C because they're. I think Europe is going to require them to have it. So they won't really have a choice. All right, Janelle says I think Apple's mass consumer is evolving too slow. See, that's the thing. It's not really. It's not really about the consumer, right? I think it's more on. I think the onus is more on the manufacturer, these tech companies. They kind of set the pace for how things evolve. It's not the consumer, right? I mean, the average consumer doesn't really care that much about technology and what's happening, but the tech companies are usually ahead of the curve when it comes to implementing new features that people might take to and different things like that. The Android OEMs are like constantly moving the needle and trying to make their phones bigger and better and different things like that. Even with the battery tech, right? Even with the battery technology, the iPhone charges at 27 watts. That's what they call fast charging. Even Samsung charges at 45 watts. But then you got companies across the pond like OnePlus and Oppo and Vivo and Redmi and Xiaomi charging at over 100 watts. Bruh, what? I mean, Apple is getting left in the dust. You got 27-watt fast charging versus 120-watt fast charging across the sea, bro. Like, I'm telling you, at some point it adds up. Again, I'm not saying Apple's in immediate danger. I'm not saying Apple's going to crash and burn tomorrow, but these things add up. And if they keep adding up, they're going to add up to a place where Tim Cook is not going to be happy when he wakes up in the morning and understands that Apple is slowly getting phased out and passed by because the rest of the world is moving at light speed and Apple's over there jogging, yo. They're jogging. The rest of the tech world is moving at light speed and Apple is jogging. How long can you maintain that pace and try to play in your own lane when the rest of the world is moving faster than you? I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, I'm not saying anything like this is going to affect Apple immediately, but when you get a bunch of the stuff that adds up, it makes things very interesting. It makes things very interesting. Whew. All right, Bray Gray says Apple makes advancements in lock-in, not innovation. Yeah, that's definitely the case. I mean, we see that with Apple Pay and Apple Card and different things like that. But again, all that is good and well. But if the technology around you is advancing at hyper speed and you're moving at jogging speed, eventually the lock-in is not going to matter. People are going to leave the walled garden and go experience other things. It's already starting to happen. John Rettinger came on my podcast 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and told me 4 years ago, John Rettinger did that if Apple didn't have iMessage, he would be on Android full time. He told me this 4 years ago. So if John Rettinger is telling me this 4 years ago about Apple and iMessage and different things like that, here we are 4 years later having a similar conversation, although now we're looking at it differently because, man, there's a lot of different things going on outside of the walled garden that look kind of compelling, look a little bit enticing, you know? Hell, you got people leaving Apple and finding ways to get iMessage running on their Android devices, bro. Like, people are finding a way. I don't know. So it's interesting. You know, like I said, I find it interesting. Again, I don't know if this is actually going to happen, or it's going to happen. I'm going to go on record and say it's going to happen. Apple is definitely going to probably lose some of their tech power, or whatever you want to call it, their clout in the tech space, if they don't figure out a way to evolve faster, because the tech world moves too fast, yo. And when something is newer, faster, and works better, people are going to gravitate towards that, no matter if you're Apple or Samsung or Google or whatever. And if you don't believe me, look at what's happening right now with Google. Perfect example. Chat GPT. Okay? Chat GPT. Now you're like, Viper, how do you bring Chat GPT into the conversation? Because for the longest time, right, Google has been the #1 search engine in the world for the longest time. But you have the introduction of Chat GPT, and it's so good, it's so effective, and it itself can be a search engine in some ways, even though it's still limited in its current state. But Chat GPT has been so effective that even Google felt like they had to respond to Chat GPT because they felt like it was threatening their business. So don't tell me that you can sit on your laurels and not evolve when the world around you is evolving and not do anything, because then you end up like Blackberry. What are you talking about, Jadothan? What do you mean What do you mean ChatGPT could kill us though? What are you bro? I don't even know what you're talking about. The thing, Jadothan, is it can make all the mistakes in the world, but what it can do, threaten Google enough to make a response with Google Bard now. So now you got Google Bard out here doing its thing, and they're trying to figure out their answer to Chat GPT because they felt like Chat GPT was threatening their search business. See, this is what Apple hasn't done, right? Apple hasn't really made a response to things that like threaten their business, right? Now, maybe that's because Apple hasn't really felt threatened by anything, but maybe they should. Apple has kind of figured out other ways to go about maintaining their business, to get into like streaming services and different things like that. They got Apple One and all that stuff, and that's fine. But if people start to go outside of that, or people start to get their technology from other places, how much would that matter? You know, I don't know. Again, this is an interesting conversation, y'all. And none of this is like set in stone, or none of this is guaranteed to happen. But things are happening, y'all. And I'm just wondering if Apple is observing what's happening around them. That's really what I'm asking. I want to know, is Apple actually looking at what's happening in the tech space? Are they looking? Are they observing? Are they planning? Because let me give you a perfect example of Apple standing on their laurels. Siri, right? Let's talk about Siri and how stupid Siri is still in 2023. Siri is still dumb in 2023. Siri became a thing 12 years ago, and I would almost argue that she's remained largely unchanged over the past 12 years. Whereas you got Google's AI can take phone calls for you. Apple has done nothing with Siri. Nothing. You got Google's AI making taking phone calls and different things like that. Now you got ChatGPT doing what ChatGPT is doing. You have Google's AI able to understand uncontextual conversation, but Siri is still turn on my light. That's it. She still only understands one command and one command only, and she's done. But she was the first AI. She was the first. Well, she wasn't the first AI, but she was the first major mainstream commercial AI. Siri. 2011, she came out. I'm not talking to you right now, Siri. Calm down. Calm down. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about you, not to you. But she was the first mainstream commercial AI among the big phone manufacturers back in 2011. It is 2023, and what is Siri today? What is she? Don't worry, I'll wait. Yeah. She what she was back 12 years ago. Like, what can Siri do new today that she couldn't do 12 years ago? I think we got Siri shortcuts. Okay, you got Siri shortcut. But other than that, can she do anything else that she couldn't do 12 years ago besides shortcuts? I don't know. I doubt it. The fact that she is still severely limited, even all of these years later, that has to raise a red flag. Am I the only one that's concerned that about Siri's lack of development, lack of upgradability? Like, what are we doing here? Bruh. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Somebody got to ask the questions that nobody wants to ask. That's why I'm here, yo. Somebody got to ask the questions, yo. Somebody got to ask these questions out here. I got questions out here, bro. I got questions. All right. Brooklyn says, that's a deep question. Apple is a very monumental company, but I agree they need to shake up the iPhone. It's time for a change. It is. They need to do something over there at Apple. They need to shake something up because the iPhone has been stale for a while. They need to shake it up. They need to shake it up and shake it up immediately, bro. Immediately. All right, I'm kind of falling behind on the chat. Let me see if I can catch back up. Sonny says, no one is leaving Apple. Are you sure no one is leaving Apple? Are you positive? There are a lot of people that have left Apple. Okay. There's not enough to make headlines, but people have left Apple and people are continuing to leave Apple. People are leaving. You just don't hear about it, but they're leaving, bro. They are leaving and they're not coming back. Because Apple does refusing to evolve. It is what it is. I'm not saying it's happening at a big or at a large rate, but it is definitely happening. It is happening. The normal person doesn't want Android. It's not cool. That is a North American trope. The rest of the world uses Android over Apple. What do you mean the normal person doesn't want Apple or doesn't want Android? The rest of the world uses Android. What are you talking about? As I mentioned earlier, Sonny, iMessage isn't even a thing in Europe. They don't use iMessage. They use WhatsApp. Bro. I'm not no shade to you, Sonny, but it is that type of thing, and that will have Apple. It will lead to their downfall because if you only focus on what's happening in North America and different things like that, there's a whole other world out there beyond North America, and Apple better figure it out quick because the rest of the world don't care about iMessage. They're not using iPhone. They're using Android. Now, I did say earlier that I feel like the iPhone is making up market share, but it still has nothing on Android across the rest of the world. The iPhone's dominance is purely a North American construct. Purely a North American construct. When the moment you leave the continent or whatever, it is everything else except iPhone. It's everything not named iPhone that's dominating. Bruh, there's worlds out there, y'all. There's worlds out there. I'm just saying. President 8 of the best 10 selling selling phones are iPhones. Unfortunately, Apple thinks they don't need to change. I think I saw that too, but is that list North American list or is that list globally? I'm gonna guess that was not a global phone selling list. Now if I'm wrong, please correct me, but I'm gonna guess that if the iPhone is winning phone list, it's probably not a global list. Because again, the rest of the world don't care about iPhone that much. Not really. Well, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. All right, let's see. So Brooklyn says, did the innovation of Apple, dare I say, pass with Steve Jobs? I don't want to go that far, but it does seem like it slowed down a lot. And rightfully so, because Steve Jobs was a visionary. And because Steve Jobs was a visionary, obviously Tim Cook is not Steve Jobs. So the visionary and the innovation of Apple slowed down a lot. But you still got to move on. You got to evolve, man. You got to evolve. And Apple, I feel like, is evolving slower than most. So Justin says, move to the iPhone 23 Ultra the past 2 weeks, but I know I'm moving back. The iPhone magnet is just too strong. I wonder one day if that will change for you. Because again, you're right. The S23 Ultra is the best phone out right now. It's better than any iPhone Apple has ever made, period. And it's very amazing. But you're moving back because the Apple magnet, they had that ecosystem. That ecosystem is good. But how long can you keep talking about the ecosystem if the rest of the world is evolving circles around you? If the rest of the world is evolving circles around you, how strong is your ecosystem? I'm just wondering, yo. Travis, don't get me started about AI. Bro, hey, if you got time, Travis, I got a link, bro. Let me know. You just let me know. If you want to come talk to me about AI or what I'm talking about tonight, Travis, you let me know, bro. I got spots open. I got spots. Okay, let's rock out. Let's see. Jonathan, ChatGPT got ahead of themselves, and the people are going to be more focused on these mistakes. I don't know, man. I feel like ChatGPT is still a big thing. I mean, it might be losing steam, but ChatGPT is still changing the way a lot of industries work and do business. Now, hell, it's definitely changing the creator space. So, as much as I don't want to really talk about AI and think about AI like that, I can't ignore the fact that ChatGPT is everywhere, and there's really nothing that we can do about it. Like, we have to adapt to it. It's just one of those things, man. So, oh, okay, I don't know if I get the title. Hold on, give me a second here. What? Bruh, what are we doing here? What are we doing? All right. Just, oh my god, I don't know. Actually, no, I got one. Hold on. trying to do this here. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right. Copy link. Okay, cool. All right. Give me a second, Travis. I'm gonna hit you in the DM with this link. And if you want to come chat, we can do that. Come on, go back. There he is. All right. Ooh, yeah. All right. The link has been delivered to your DM. Do with that link what you will. Okay. All righty then. Let me keep moving here. Let me see. Oh yeah, I think Tim Cook is smart too. Tim Cook is a businessman. He is the best businessman maybe on planet Earth. Like, from what he did with Apple after Steve Jobs passed away, it's nothing short of incredible. I'm not taking that away from him. But as I said, time and time again during this live stream, empires and dynasties fall, yo. They fall. It is just the way the world works. They fall. And I feel like if Apple doesn't figure out how to evolve at a faster rate, they will fall like any other dynasty because they are not immune. They are not impervious to their own downfall. Hubris is a mofo, okay? Hubris has led to many a downfall. So I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Yo, Johan, what's up, man? How you doing, sir? Appreciate you being here, man. What's going on with you? Hopefully you are enjoying the conversation, yo. That's what I said. I said that. I said that nobody outside of North America cares about iMessage. They don't. They use WhatsApp. I said that. That's why I'm like, if Apple wants to stay in their iMessage cocoon, that might lead to their downfall because the same thing BlackBerry did with BBM kind of led to their downfall. They didn't want to share BBM with the rest of the world. And the rest of the world said, okay, you can have BBM. We got better things going on. And after that, it was a wrap. It was over with. It was done. It happened quick. Not only will it happen, it can happen very quickly. So, not saying that Apple will repeat what BlackBerry did, but again, I mean, we're almost at the same point right now. We're talking about RTS and different modes of messaging and communication. We're talking about that. Apple refusing to adopt RTS or integrate it into iMessage and different things like that. So, what's going to happen? Eventually, the other areas of technology and the rest of the world are going to adapt to a non-iMessage world, and they'll figure out how to do things better than iMessage, and then that'll be it. People will be switching over to non-iMessage solutions, and that's how it begins, yo. That's how it begins, man. It starts slow, bro. It starts slow, but then when you least expect it, boom, it's a wrap, bro. It's over with because you weren't paying attention and you were too content with what you were doing. Tech God, what's up? How you doing, man? Good to see you out here. What's going on with you? Oh, my head of security is here. Hey, oh, Hefe Review. What's up, bro? How you doing, man? Good to see you in here, Hefe. What's going on with you? Hello, hello, hello. All right, I think Travis is here. So let me bring Travis in. Let me bring in the B-roll himself. What up, bruh?
Wait, what is it? What is this thing? Hold on. Where are my settings at?
I
How
don't,
does this thing work?
I don't know if you have any open. I'm using the new software, so you might not have much to do on your end.
Yeah, it's making the audio go through my speakers. I'm gonna see if I can fix that. But
Okay.
anyway,
That's on you. Okay.
I can fix that, I guess. So yeah, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. I'm not gonna ask how you're doing. I'm just. I appreciate you making the time. That's what I will say.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the TV, and I'm like, let me see what's on TV, and of course, Viper's on TV. It's Friday night. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
I was gone last week. I was in San Diego, but I'm back tonight, hanging out with the people, man. Good to see you, Travis. Though, good to see you.
Yeah, good to be seen, I suppose. So yeah, well, first of all, I saw you talking about Apple, right? Apple
Right.
be doing Apple things.
Hmm.
And who put the B-roll? Did you do that? Or
I did. Yeah, I did that.
that's funny. I liked it. That's good. Um, and I think to a degree, right? But you know what? This thing that keeps coming back to me whenever I hear you say that is uh people that are younger than us and how iPhone dominates the younger generation right now, and they don't really care about a lot of things that we do. So I really wonder if now I don't know what it's like in Europe and stuff if it's as dominant over there as it is in America. That I don't actually know. But I know that in America it's like 70-80% of teens use iPhones now. So that wave is coming. Those are the new consumers, right? So
Hmm.
that huge wave is coming. It's like 50% right now, 50-50 overall. But once that 80% starts hitting adulthood, that's a big wave. Now, again, I don't know what's happening in Europe. And it's different than BlackBerry in that BlackBerry was always like a business thing, and it wasn't like a high school. Like I don't think I knew anyone in high school that had a BlackBerry. That just seemed kind of weird. But everyone has an iPhone in high schools and elementary schools and stuff. So I really wonder. I wonder what if they will care because a lot of them. If you listen to some of them, and over the last couple of months, I've been just talking to people, regular people, and there's like they don't know from this. They don't know. My iPhone is great. My Samsung phone is great. Whatever. They don't know any different. So I wonder if it'll matter for me and you. And even though I don't do a lot of tech anymore, I agree with you. Like I started looking up used prices on folds
Mm.
just yesterday. I'm like, wouldn't mind having one of them folds again. Especially traveling, right? And I'm like, I wouldn't mind having one of them folds. But the reality is like, do I need it? Nah, man. So I wonder what the youngsters will think.
Now,
Right.
you make a good point about the young people, Apple having a hold on Gen Z. But again, I will go back to what I was saying earlier. I feel like that's probably a North American construct. If you had Gen Z in other parts of the world, I'm gonna guess that they probably don't care about Apple that much. I'm gonna guess that that's a North American thing that Gen Z in North America is in pro iPhone, obviously, because that's where Apple dominates. But if you go outside of North America, does Gen Z care about iPhone as much? I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I would be curious. Anyone in the chat that's not in America, what are the high schoolers and elementary kids and all that other stuff? All them young whippersnappers. What do they? Do they use? Do they care? Is it a big deal? It's a status symbol here.
Yes,
Incorrectly so.
yes.
Incorrectly so. We talk about this. Forget about all that. Incorrectly so, but it is. It is what it is. All iPhones in Australia and the
Okay.
upside down. The upside down got all iPhones. Okay, who else?
Jeff
Anyone else
taking
out
in
here?
Wakanda. Jeff.
Gen Z in Ireland, iPhone. Look at this.
Okay. All right.
Well,
So
I
maybe it's not a
feel
North
like
American thing.
the wave is coming. And is it the right thing? You got to remember VHS won out over Betamax. Some people don't even know what the hell I'm talking about right now. But VHS was the inferior format. And again, it's not to say iPhone's inferior. They're not. I have iPhone all day long, but it was the less technically capable format, but it won. So yeah, it's a status symbol in other countries, China, for example. Yeah, so it's interesting. I think that's what really matters, and I think Apple knows that. I
Mm,
think they kind of know that. And look, take it from me. UK iPhones dominate. This is what's
okay.
really. This is the real thing. If I'm saying, and I made a video about this like a year and a half ago. If I'm Samsung, I'm doing all the things they're doing. They finally have a phone that people are talking about switching to. I've seen a couple people in my feed go, I'm going to S23 Ultra. Like, this is the one. And I'm like, huh, that's interesting. So but they have to do that. They have no choice. If not, they got a ticking time bomb on their ass.
So I do find it interesting that a lot of you all outside of North America say that the iPhone dominates in your region of the world. I didn't think that was the case, but that is interesting that even in other parts of the world that Gen Z is adopting iPhone. So yeah, I might have to crowd this entire live stream.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
No, not really. But it's interesting though. It is interesting. I wonder if it's going to stay like that though, even as rapidly as technology is evolving. And again, Apple is kind of slow to evolve with the change in technology. I wonder if it will stay like that because Gen Z is cutting edge, if nothing else. So they might like Apple today, but I mean, I don't know. Go ahead, Travis.
They only need to be cutting edge on the latest app. And for a long time, iPhones have been better in some of the social media apps that matter. Like they were for a long time on Instagram and stuff. And that's all that mattered.
That's true.
Even when the iPhone couldn't do half the stuff that Samsung phones could do, if the picture looked better on Instagram, it is a wrap.
That's true. I came up with that. That's absolutely true. Like, they're all about the best apps and where they look best on. I remember Mac Weinbach was having that whole discussion on Twitter about how he looks better on iPhone when he's doing video and pictures, and that's why he's using an iPhone. Mm-hmm. And then that's the whole thing apparently with Gen Z. So it's interesting, man. Like I said, like I told you guys, everything that I said tonight, I'm not naive. I don't think it's going to happen immediately, but it is something that could happen over time, depending on how Apple evolves over the next 10, 15 years, or whatever. But I'm glad that I didn't think about the point that Chapman brought up about Gen Z preferring iPhone. So if you think about that, then Apple's not in any danger anytime soon. So.
But, to your point, they should not just try to rest on the laurels either, because there's always a disruptor. There's always, I'll never forget an interview with Jeff Bezos years ago. He said about Amazon, he said, we were the disruptor. Someday someone will disrupt us. We just have to be ready for it.
Yep, indeed. I want to get to your thoughts about AI, but before we get to your thoughts about AI, Travis, I got one more guest I'm bringing in here. Somebody that has not been here for a long time, and I asked if he could come on tonight, and he said he had time. So let me bring in my man, the man himself, Renee Ritchie, is back in the building. What's up, Renee?
Hey, yo.
Hey, it's great to be here.
I remember that guy.
I remember him too. How you been, man?
I'm Travis, one of my favorites.
Renee, the man. How you doing, my friend? It's been a minute.
Good. Just got back I had a quick flight to Toronto to do like a creator event. And it's like Canadians will fly through anything. Blizzard, no problem. Snow, no problem. Freezing rain, they're like, okay, getting off this plane. All right, you've got another plane. No, we're not even going to board you. Okay, third plane. We're going to try to, okay, the pilot's like, screw it, we're taking off. And then he's like, we're going to fly slowly, just so that hopefully the weather will be done by the time we get there. I'm like, how do you fly slowly? I don't understand much. Like, Mike Viper's got a physics degree. Explain to me how you fly slowly.
As long as it stays in the air.
It'll take us twice as long to get there. You got the brakes on while you're flying? Like,
I don't think it worked that way. So Renee, how much of this live stream have you heard, Renee?
I just heard a little bit. I was waiting for my notification. I didn't get one, so I got to go complain to somebody.
All right. So I guess you heard most of it. Then I've been generally talking about Apple and how I feel like Apple is slow to evolve, and they keep being slow to evolve with the changes in technology, blah blah blah. They could be passed up like BlackBerry. Now, maybe not. It might not be as extreme, Renee, but I kind of feel like with the way that people are having this discord about iMessage and RCS and different things like that, and the iPhone hardware and the iPhone software that hasn't changed much over 10 years, I just kind of feel like Apple is kind of dragging their feet a little bit. And, if blasphemous as it sounds, Renee, if they keep dragging their feet with this stuff, maybe they could get passed up. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Can I give like the hottest of hot takes?
Sure, absolutely.
Since I'm out of that biz.
Hell yeah, let's go.
We've crossed the chasm from where it was early adopters and insane levels of innovation, where year after year things were incredibly fresh and exciting. We've entered mass adoption, mainstream acceptance. And so none of this stuff is interesting anymore. They're tools. It's like having a conversation to me. It's like, who's making the best screwdriver? Who's making the best hammer? I can't even tell you who makes those things. Like probably, I don't know, Mastercraft or whatever. It's like, these are just everyday objects now. Everybody has one. They're all relatively pretty good. And I think like you can tell, like, and I know like Travis hard quit tech YouTube entirely, but you can tell like even the people who've been in it for a long minute, like Marquez still does reviews like for like the biggest phones, but the other phones, like he's not even interested in reviewing them anymore. He's like, there's a new Oppo phone. He's like, let's talk about cameras. And I'm using this brand new Oppo phone as an example because like, who's going to like, It's the 300th Oppo review. Like, and it's like the thing is 99.9% like the same. And like, that's not saying it's not different. Like, we have the same DNA as chimps. It's fine. But it's like, it's not like different to the point where people, unless they want to buy it, and most people bought tons of stuff during the pandemic, so they're not buying as much. Like, you've just got like, it's not that interesting anymore. So you got to keep finding like new angles and new things. And I think like people are set in their ways. Like they got it. It's like a refrigerator or a car or a TV now. You know, like when yours breaks, like you'll go get one. And if the same brand is still fine, you'll get that. But if you're like, oh, they screwed up something, like I have to replace my TV. I used it way too much during the pandemic and it's getting burned in, and it's like an LG and I really like it. But like Samsung's got a better panel now, but Samsung won't license Dolby Vision. So I'm buying the Sony TV with the Samsung panel in it. And like the brand loyalty is like, who's better and who gives me the features that I want? So I feel like phones were like so exciting for a while, and we're waiting for the next thing now.
So it sounds like that, Renee, you feel like that the market has reached its plateau point as far as relates to smartphones and different things like that. So my question to you then becomes, if the market has reached its plateau point, how does Apple, Samsung, Google go about separating themselves in the market when we don't care?
They won't. It'll be like, well, they'll do it like car companies or like TV companies. You know, like there'll be people like nerds will care about the quality. Other people will hunt based on deals, or like the iPhone is just like the mainstream phone, and like that's what normal people get. And otherwise, like if I want to do something, or if I want a cheap phone, or I want a phone that I can completely customize, I'll go and get Android. But otherwise, like I think the software differentiation is where it's going to come in, and they'll start loading localized large language models, and you'll be able to chat GPT on your Microsoft suite and Bard on your Android phone, and whatever Apple ends up, like they'll probably just call it Siri because like that's got such a good brand equity, and you'll just be able to chat to Siri, and like that'll be the next big differentiation.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, another thing, hell, we've been talking about smartphones. I've been in the smartphone space for over a decade, almost 2 decades at this point. So it does kind of make sense where you're coming from about the market reaching its plateau point. And I think to your point, Renee, we are kind of waiting for that next big thing. I know Apple have been rumored, or they were rumored to announce their mixed reality headset this year, but they might not do it this year or whatever. I don't know. But I think we are kind of in that next big phase, next big thing phase. We're waiting for the next big innovation and technology, and we're just using the smartphones now as a stopgap before we get to that next big
Can't
thing.
you see it? Like, I think we're close. Like, and this is going to sound silly, but there's those scenes in the early Avengers and Iron Man movies where Tony Stark is just talking to Jarvis, and he's got like this 3D thing in front of him. Even in Endgame, when he's inventing time travel, you know, it's like this 3D model projected in front of him, and he's talking his way through it. And the large language model is going to let us talk, and the VR and AR is going to let us see and manipulate things. So Viper is going to be in his garage going, you know, I got to get a new set of armor, and he's just going to be like moving around the pieces of his truck to make it into a set of armor, and like that'll be super cool.
We are definitely close. The iPhones have had LiDAR on the back for a while now, for a few years now, and I know Apple's been accumulating that data, and obviously Google Glass was the thing 10 years ago and different things like that, and there have been a few other brands that come out with AR glasses, so we're definitely on the cusp. But hopefully Apple will come out with their headset sooner rather than later, and we'll see what that will offer the market.
Did you see someone's actually finally using LiDAR for something interesting? Yesterday, it was the other day.
Who's that?
What is it? The new Unreal Engine.
Oh yeah.
Oh really? Okay.
They use an iPhone to take like a video of a person, and then they immediately put it in a video game. It looked just like the person. It was crazy. They were using the LiDAR stuff from like the iPhone. I'm like, oh, finally, someone doing something interesting with LiDAR.
Well, they're doing AR models too, right? Like I forget they put up on stage and really quickly started doing the face mapping that they used to do like for Hollywood performance capture.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, that's cool. I thought. Well, so the reason I'm even on here because I said, you know, you're talking about that Chat GPT stuff. Listen, man, I gotta tell you something. Remember when I used to talk all this, and people thought I was joking, and I was half joking, but I was all serious. I was all worried about the robots.
Yep.
Now y'all gonna do AI too, and AI is worse in some ways, especially when AI connects to the robots. Then we're really screwed. Look, I'm a hippie to the game. We're in the end times, and I hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I'm gonna set it to you, and then you're gonna be part conspiracy too. All right, first of all, now I got an invitation to Bard. I haven't opened it up yet, but I'll probably play around with it later. Let me start with a concept, and then I'll drill down. Anytime, and this goes for everything, anytime you do something, you take something that's convenient. A lot of times that's technology. You're usually exchanging it for something else. Convenience is an exchange of something else. Sometimes it's privacy. Sometimes it can be anything, like your
security.
It could be your security. It could be anything like that. It's usually something important for something not important. Like you can't Google stuff now like that. First of all, just Google the damn thing. You don't have to ask some AI to tell you this stuff. Just Google it, because here's what happens. This first AI.
Need that T-shirt, Travis.
Oh, don't even get me started, Renee. Listen, I'm about ready to lose all the people that were watching me before. All right, look. When that Bing came out with theirs, and Microsoft gonna mess it up first. And then I know you also with the WAN show, when they started talking to that thing, and it became like a gothy teenager that fell in love with the guy and was all upset about it. I know you all saw that. And that was revision 1.
Are you talking about Linus? Are you intimating that Linus is a large language model?
Well, not just Linus himself. One of his guys was talking to him, and they should take the Linus. But Linus don't know how to keep his YouTube channel secure, so we're not going to look at him. So look, we're going to talk to other people. Look, here's the thing. No,
Shots fired!
Some of y'all may know my background with Linus. It's not bad at all. But anyway, here's the thing. Let's say that you give an AI, because the whole point of it is not just convenience. It's hopefully this AI will help make the world a better place, I guess, right? Like that's the idea of everything. But here's the problem with that. I mean, first of all, don't let this thing connect to the internet too much, because you really screwed then. And certainly don't give it the ability to change things like people's money or nuclear weapons or anything like that, because then we really screwed. Because here's the thing. At some point, if you allow it to have all that control, like I barely let Alexa have any kind of control. She can turn my lights on and off. That's about it. She ain't opening up my garage door. She ain't unlocking my front door. I ain't doing nothing. That's too far. All right. But if you give an AI access to all this other, let me explain to you how quickly this falls out of our hands. Let's say people like ChatGPT 20. This is it. It's brilliant. It's smart. It's great. Everything's great. Give it access to everything. Okay, cool. We need to make the world a better place. Humans have not been able to do it. ChatGPT 20, I need you to make the world a better place. ChatGPT goes, well, what has ruined the earth the most?
I'm sorry, I can't do that, Travis.
No, it can. What has ruined the earth the most over the last 100 years, 200 years? Let me look. Oh, look, it's humans. I guess we need to get rid of y'all. Goodbye. Turn off all the power, nuke everything. I made it a better place. Thank you. Please drive around, because we're the problem. We are the virus. We are the virus. And again, that sounds real crazy, but I need you to think about this. Look at how many rainforests are gone, how many animals used to live before we got on this thing. We are the virus. So as soon as the AI figures that out and says, oh, well, time to get rid of you, it's a wrap. And we could have avoided if you just would keep Googling instead of needing something to tell you about what's on Google. Just stop it. We don't need.
And then Travis is up in heaven at the pearly gates, and he's like, "Why did you do that, God? Why'd you give us AI?" And he's like, "Look, I sent you Terminator. I sent you Matrix. I sent you all this stuff. What are you doing here?"
I'm just saying, I'm going to be gone before all this happens. I'm not going to be around. I'm not going to hang out for this foolishness. There's too much crazy stuff going on around here.
So I don't know if you saw that Verge article though, but they had a Verge article that showed someone asked Bing if Bard had been canceled already, and Bing said it had been canceled based on a tweet that was erroneously pulling another article that then referred back. It was like basically they were starting to feed, like Bing and Bard and ChatGPT were starting to feed each other bad information.
Yeah, of course.
They're as confidently wrong as most influencers, Travis.
Well, listen, yeah, that's true. But at least everyone knows most people know not to trust us. Have I watched Person? I don't know what Person of Interest is. The people are going to think that because it's a computer.
That was a good show. First season was awesome.
Yep. I'm afraid to watch it if it sounds like it's something that's crazy like that.
But here's basically, imagine Batman if Bruce Wayne, Batman, and the Bat computer were 3 separate characters.
What is it, streaming on Netflix or something?
Probably somewhere.
Somewhere.
Well, all I know is that they put the new Top Gun on Amazon Prime, so I'm gonna watch that tonight. Anyway, I just think that it's a convenience we don't need. Like, I understand things like 5G made sense because the latency is supposed to be low, not the bandwidth. The latency is supposed to be better so that you could do things like have surgery across the country or something like all these things they were talking about. Like, oh, that makes sense. That's kind of cool. But to have this thing write an article for you or start a business for you, or that, it's unnecessary. And it's a slippery slope. and y'all gonna slip right into the mud, right back to the dinosaurs.
The meat grinder is a slippery slope into a. Can I offer an alternative, like an optimistic alternative
All
point
right,
of view?
yeah, I'd like to hear it.
So my hope, the best case scenario here is I feel like we went through like the agricultural revolution, the industrial revolution, the information age, and we kept being told that it'll make us everything more efficient and we'll be able to work less and enjoy life more. And it was a lie. It was a damn lie. We're all working 3 times harder for half the amount of money and have zero life left. So there's no reason to take this at face value, but I do feel like a lot of us spend 80% of our time doing grunt work that could be easily automated. We just lack the sufficiently tools. Like, let's say Viper had to send out like a bunch of customer support emails. 80% of those are going to be absolutely repetitive and redundant. And like 20% are going to be really important, but you've got to like plod through the 80% and then race through the 20%. Or like you got to take a bunch of photos. You got to like sort through them. Like there's all these just grunt work. And if the AI is just like, if it doesn't improve that much, if it improves like just a little bit, and it can do like 80% of that grunt work for us and leave the 20% of really like creative work that we can then spend most of our time on. So it'd be like, make me like 8 thumbnail variants for my new video. And like, they're not great. Like the people have 8 fingers or whatever. Like that's not important, but it gives you like all the basic ideas. So you don't have to start from scratch and iterate. Or it's like, give me the framework for a video that talks about these issues. And it's like, you can't use it the way it is, but it's like better than staring at that blank page or forgetting something or like not like you got to fact check it. You got to do the work, but you can spend your work polishing like and not building all the time. And I'm hoping that that's where this finds its sweet spot. It does like all the moving of things into place, all the previs, all of that kind of stuff, the prototyping, and then we just got to spend like more of our time focusing on the end product.
Do you have enough faith in humans that they're going to limit themselves to that? I'm just wondering. Because on TikTok, they're finding people in my city right now. They're using TikTok to break into cars. So I don't know if we can really, the people.
Wait, what? Dude, Thomas Frank, and Tirzu keep sending me these videos, deep fake Donald Trump, Obama, and Biden tier ranking and playing Magic the Gathering and playing D&D. And I hate myself for watching them, but they are like Superman is not S tier. Superman is the lamest character. He is clearly like an F tier. Wake up, Sleepy Joe. He is clearly an S tier. Like the whole thing is just so ludicrous, but I'm laughing my head off.
Wait. What do you mean people are using TikTok to break into cars? How does that work?
So I only found out about this a couple weeks ago, but I guess it's been going on for a couple months. You'll find if you Google it, Kia and Hyundai, which of course I have a Hyundai, of course, have some type of exploit that was found out, and people on TikTok have exposed it. And the amount, and this is a true story, the amount of stolen Kias and Hyundais has spiked so high that some insurance companies will no longer insure Hyundais or Kias right now.
Wow.
Now there's a software update that Hyundai is already started to get out for some of their cars. Apparently it affects almost all of their cars for the last like 15 years or something like that.
Damn.
And the problem is, of course, there's so many cars, like, I don't know when they're going to get around to mine. So I had to get remember the club? I had to get one of those things. I haven't had one of those things in years. But literally they're on TikTok learning how to, and around here, it's a bunch of teenagers that are stealing cars and they're getting into accidents and police are pulling them over and it's just dumb stuff. So yeah, I mean, yeah. For a little TikTok,
well, didn't the K-pop stands influence the election? Isn't that the power of the K-pop stands?
Is it? I don't even know. I thought the TikTok stands or the K-pop stands were there to troll everyone else.
Well, they kept buying out the rallies for the Republican Party and then not showing up.
Right, that was hilarious. That was actually really funny.
So I told Renee that I would not have anything YouTube related tonight, but I do got to ask you one question.
You can ask me YouTube stuff. It's fine.
No, I'm not. I know that's not why you're here. I didn't invite you here to talk YouTube because I know that's what you do full time. But I would be remiss if I didn't ask you. Could you provide some like point of Renee to the listeners out there, since a bunch of creators are listening right now and watching, about how they can protect their channel from being hacked? Because I think that's a relevant conversation that we need to have given the current event.
Yeah, I'm a little leery of doing that just because it's so new and I don't have like a ton of information, and there's way smarter security people than me, so I would worry about giving bad advice. Yeah, but I think all the standard advice,
right? Yeah, I'm just standard stuff. You don't have to give anything like crazy, just stuff that we should probably already know.
Yeah, like my big thing, and it's like it goes way beyond like YouTube or anything, like I don't click on links. I just don't click. Like if someone sends me an email and says click here, I don't click on it. I just never ever not ever do that, because sometimes like even when you like you can hover over it to see what the link is, but often the mail program will obfuscate the link and turn it into some weird internal format and I can't read it. So like anytime I get an email that says I have to go anywhere, like if it's a Google Drive link, I go to a browser, I type in drive.google.com. If someone's like, I want you to have this media kit, I'm like, put it up on a website, like somewhere, like, or that's why like I have an agent. Like I have an agent do all that stuff. Like I don't click on, and I've been paranoid about that like for 20 years. Like since I worked in like a big tech company when I was like much younger, analytical database company, had government contracts and stuff. Like you were just told, don't click on links. That was like we were trained, don't ever click on links. I have never varied from that. Even with people I know, like if it says like, oh, you're like a bunch of people, like so many, forget like Skype in the day, you just got all these DMs from Skype compromise. I get Twitter DMs still from people who've been compromised saying, oh, check out this link. And it's like an obfuscated link. I do not click on that. I do not click on anything. So like the best practice I can give you is like, you cannot make, no matter what system you create, as long as humans are involved, it'll be exploitable just because humans are exploitable. And when you look at a lot of these attacks, like I forget which the most recent one was, but it was like, it might have been the Twitter DM one. Like it gives you something you want. So you're like, are you sure you want to download this? Yes. Are you sure you want to install this? Yeah. You are not only blowing through the platform protections, you're blowing through the operating system protections, because they're designed to do the will of the user. And social engineering works by perverting the will of the user. So like my number one thing is just don't ever click on a link.
That's not the advice.
You know, there's,
and that's convenience, like Travis was talking about. I traded my convenience for like frustration, but I don't get like socially engineered.
So shout out to an old sponsor of mine, Trend Micro, because when I was doing the sponsored bit with them, I installed the plugin or whatever, and in the plugin, it actually anytime in any app or browser thing or email, it sees a URL, it will validate the URL in the background, like using their cloud service, and then give you a green check mark or an X or a question mark before you ever even click it. Like even before you open email, as soon as the email there's already checked it and everything. I think that's fantastic. I need more people to be doing that. That includes Google results, Gmail things. So I have actually almost clicked on something until I saw it was a red X, and I'm like, oh. So, and I usually don't click things, but it saved me. So I don't know. Shout out to Trend Micro for doing that. They're doing the Lord's work. We need more people to do that. But yeah, shame on people for trying to take over. Here's the other thing. How much money do you think those people actually make? Because everyone knows those are like scam streams, and like, then you go to the website, it's like, here, give us 1 Bitcoin, we'll give you 2. Like, how does that even make sense? Like, I know there's dumb people out there, but how much could they possibly be making by doing this? Is it a lot? I don't know.
Travis, that's a good question. But we're talking about the same people that will click on those fake spam comments on YouTube that tell you that Travis MTP is going to give you an award. You got to pay them, and they'll pay you, or thinking that's you, and they're really not you. So
at least that looks more like me. Whereas
it's got like desperate people and greedy people, and people who are just having a bad day, and people who like think my luck has finally turned. Like it's all socially engineering, man. Once humans are in the system. I fell for it once. Like I did, like early days of Twitter, I clicked on a DM thing that wanted me to log in, and I did. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. I'm so dumb. And I immediately changed my password, and I never did that again.
Yeah.
It's funny joking like change your password every week. That's a joke, but I mean, you have to ban to do that then.
The problem is that doesn't even like fix the issue, because for that week that it's not changed, if you got the thing, you got the thing. You're screwed. You just screwed. Just don't be on the internet.
Don't be on the internet.
Yeah. Well, like people used to laugh when people wrote down their passwords. Now there's a whole movement going, just write your passwords in a book, because your house is much harder to hack than like anything that's online.
It's so true. Sticky note.
Yeah,
I remember I was writing an article for iMore a long time ago when I was talking to a bunch of InfoSec experts, and they're like, encrypt everything, encrypt all this. And then I spoke to the guy who created SuperDuper, which is like the drive cloning program, one of the most popular ones on the Mac. And he's like, don't encrypt things. Like, don't like anything that's really important to you, don't encrypt. I'm like, what do you mean? Like everyone's telling me to encrypt everything. It's like, if it's your baby photos, if it's your like wedding photos, if it's like important health documents, if it's anything that you will get divorced or fired if you lose access to, like, don't encrypt it, because the odds of someone like breaking in and caring about your wedding photos or your baby photos is nothing, but the odds of like the drive getting damaged and you needing to take it in to be like retrieved, because you'll pay $2,000 to get those photos back, but ain't nobody gonna sell those photos at a pawn shop for $2,000. not even the drive. It's like just like be safe with your data. And if someone breaks into your house, like your hard drive is like after the gold watches and like whatever else of value is actually in your house, maybe then they'll look at your rig.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, we just got to be careful about what we're doing online. I mean, like even Andrew said he felt with something that happened on Instagram. I mean, it's easy. You just got to be vigilant and just understand that if you do think you clicked on a link in error, yeah, probably the first thing that you should do is go change your password almost immediately.
Yes.
Yeah.
Renee, I don't know how much you could talk about this, but I'll ask you anyway. Do you have any thoughts on the United States trying to ban TikTok?
I mean, so this is a weird thing for me because like ever since I joined YouTube, people were like, "Oh, you've changed your opinions, you've sold out, you've done all." And like literally none of my opinions have changed. Like as a human being, my opinions evolve over time. So like from year to year, they do evolve. But I get yelled at, and I'm like, I did the same video a year ago. I wrote the same article 5 years ago. So like for me, it's the same thing as when I was talking about iCloud in China. There is a movement to repatriate data. A lot of countries do not want their citizens' data living on the servers of other countries. After Snowden, a lot of people didn't want them on U.S. servers. And you know, with the People's Republic of China, a lot of people don't want them on Chinese servers. France didn't want Microsoft storing like their citizens' data outside of France. There was a huge lawsuit over that a few years ago. So I think the internet was this beautiful dream of internationalization where everything was just everywhere. And we've had in like North America, we haven't really experienced this, but there are countries around the world like the Great Firewall of China and some Middle Eastern countries where the internet isn't just the internet, like where there are very different rules. And I think we're starting to see that more and more. And I don't know how laws how laws are going to evolve, because it's already hard to synchronize like laws between the US and the EU. Like only the US has a First Amendment. Only the US has Article 230. Other governments believe it's their job to legislate speech. We're coming to a very incompatible world. And I can see a time where like Britain's like, we Brexited the EU, we're going to Brexit our data now. We all want your if you're all playing Lords of Legends, we want your Lords of Legends to be in the UK. You know, depending on what happens with governments. So I think that this is very much the same. I personally don't think governments should make laws targeting companies. I think they should make laws about policy, about privacy, and every company should be beholden to those laws. And if they say all data has to be stored in the US, that's one thing. If they say you have to be stored in the US, I understand it the same way I understand China saying Apple data. But I know that a bunch of people who were pro TikTok being put in the US were anti iCloud being put in China. So I think like you got to look at that whole issue and realize it's not like one company or one country. It's going to affect all of us.
Yeah, I think some of the biggest things I heard about the TikTok ban or the potential TikTok ban, excuse me, is that a lot of people feel like it's not even about data; it's about the access to information. Because TikTok has a Chinese CEO, a lot of people feel like the United States government in particular doesn't have control over the flow of information, and because they don't have that control over the flow of information, they feel like that's why we are going after TikTok. And I mean, there might be some merit to that, but who knows at this point?
I should say these are all my personal opinions. Like I'm not like speaking for anybody but myself with this stuff.
Exactly. Yes. Renee is not here in any official capacity tonight. If that wasn't clear already.
No.
No.
And again, like you can go back and see, like this is exactly what I said like 5 years ago in an article on the same subject.
Yeah, definitely. Travis, do you have any thoughts on this potential TikTok ban, or you probably don't care either way, right?
I don't care. TikTok.
What's up, James? How you doing, man? Yeah, it's been a while since I've had people on here, but I appreciate Renee and Travis making the time tonight. So I thank them both, man, and hanging out. Renee, what is your current phones you're working with? What are you carrying these days?
iPhone 14 Pro Max and a Pixel 7 Pro.
Oh.
Every year I buy the latest iPhone and the latest Pixels. Just what I do. I've skipped a couple here and there, but not many.
Do you care, or do you have any thoughts about the iPhone finally adopting USB Type-C this year?
No, I mean, like, I never cared about the plug. I cared about the bandwidth. So, like, if Apple goes to USB-C and keeps the same USB 2.0 speed, I'm gonna be super salty. Because, like, they gave me, I'd hate to do this again, but, like, they announced ProRes video. They said, like, we've built this chipset that can encode and decode it. We've built this I/O controller that can record 6 gigabytes per minute. And then I'm like, well, how do I get it off the device? And it's just like crickets. I mean, like, you didn't build an I/O controller that could transfer that stuff at USB 3.1 speeds, like crickets. And it's been 2 years already. So, like, if they go to USB-C and it stays at the same speed, it does not help us. I know some people care about, like, people are so funny. we demand like we hate proprietary plugs. We demand USB-C on the iPhone, but give us back MagSafe on the Mac. And it's like the same people. I'm like, just So I want the capabilities. Like if it's Thunderbolt, I will be so happy. I don't know if you can fit a Thunderbolt controller in a phone. I forget whether you can do that or not. But even if it's like USB 3, I'll be super happy.
I mean, for me, Sonny, I see you, man. Talk to Greg about it. For me, if I didn't have the 14 Pro Max, I'd probably get a 15 because of USB-C, but not because of most reasons people are thinking about it. It's more for simplification, because if I just know when I'm grabbing a cable, which is 9 times out of 10 is USB-C, and I got to find the one damn lightning cable for whatever reason I need to have it for. And like when I'm going on a trip or something, I don't usually take a wireless charger on trips. So I got to find where the damn one lightning cable is in the damn house. I'd rather just grab one of the 18 million USB-Cs instead and not have to worry about it. So for me, it's more about convenience. So regardless of what the speed is, like that part doesn't matter to me as much as the convenience of not having to have more than one type of cable. So I'll probably skip this year though, because it's too incremental of a change for me. I need something that's a little bit bigger. And then after that, we'll see.
Yeah.
See, I was salty though, because like I was doing that grab a USB-C cable and I forgot there's like 18 different kinds of USB-C cables, like 3 different speeds, 3 different like charging capacities, and then there's ones that can do certain, like there's ones that are also Thunderbolt. So I bought like 8 Thunderbolt cables, and it cost a bloody fortune. But now I really know that if I like any of those cables are the fastest, like charge the fastest, transfer the fastest, and can support displays. So now I really don't have to worry. But damn, was that expensive?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the revisions of USB-C was a bunch of clown shoes, especially when it first came out. Because I think when it first came out, I still worked at Amazon, and there was a bunch of reviews about the different ones. There was one guy who did like reviews of each USB-C.
A Google engineer.
Yeah, he had like the most like reviewed thing. Anyway, yeah, that 100%.
This one will not burn your laptop.
Yeah, for me now at this point, any USB-C cable I grab is really just charge overnight when I'm somewhere else. When I'm home, I'm MagSafe all day, every day. And that's not going to change anytime soon. But for travel and stuff, I usually just take a normal charger. And it would be nice just to have the one, especially if like I decide to ever go back to 2 phones, just have one USB-C charger for 2. That's all I need.
That would be
my
the ideal
beautiful
situation.
dream was that they would make USB-D before making it a standard. Like just fix everything that's wrong with C, make it one cable with like just fix everything and then make that the standard. But they don't want to do that to us. They want to hurt us because they're going to announce USB-D next year. We know that, right? Or mini USB-C or some nonsense, and then like told us to start all over again.
Andrew, I can't believe you're on the iPhone team now. Finally, wow, it took a while. It took Samsung customer service, huh? I've heard a lot about Samsung customer service lately, so I'm not that surprised about your situation. But hopefully you're enjoying your iPhone, man. I know it's a little bit different from what you're used to, but I hope you're enjoying it. As to I don't know if you're talking to me or any of us, but I will not be at VidCon. I actually passed up the opportunity to go to. I won't be there.
I'm not going to Con. I'm going to Summit.
Yeah, I'm going to Summit too. That's where I'm going. Yeah,
I'm going to be at VidCon.
I went to VidCon last year. Oh, go ahead, Travis.
Are you going to be at Summit, Renee?
I don't know. It's weird this year because they have 2 VidCons, and the second VidCon is the same date as VidSummit.
What do you mean there's a second? What are you talking about?
There's a second VidCon Baltimore, and it's like Baltimore.
Really?
But it's the same date as VidSummit.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's interesting.
Well, it would be ironic that you would go to the one VidSummit that I wasn't at, and then the one I start going back again. You're not. Like, I mean, damn.
Maybe I'll be there. I don't know. I don't always get to decide those things for myself anymore.
So, Travis, you are coming to VidSummit this year?
Yeah, I mean, now at this point, 100%. The ironic thing is, even earlier this past week, it would have been a no. But obviously, since the whole Nathan thing happened, yeah, I'll be there.
Okay.
I will be there. I'll be there.
Drama that I don't know about. Is it going to show? Is Ludwig and Charlie going to do a Travis video tonight that I'm waiting for now?
Who?
It sounded like there was drama about you having to go to VidSummit all of a sudden. So I was wondering if there's someone going to drop a drama video about it.
No.
Okay.
I wasn't going to go because when I got Nathan from urgent care, they said he might only have like 12 months to live. And at that point,
I'm so sorry.
7 or 8 months. So I figured by the point that VidSummit would have happened, he might have been in a place where I'd be afraid to go. But since he passed this week, I'll be.
I'm so sorry, Travis.
Yeah.
I thought you were feuding with a colleague. That was
I wish
sounding
I
much
was
more
feuding with a
dramatic.
colleague over this. That's for sure. Yeah.
Like you're not going to go if Greg goes or something.
No, weird. So funny conversation. I actually had a message with. I just texted Greg a minute ago. I showed him what Sonny Dixon said about bringing the pop. Every time someone asks me where GadgetCast when it's coming back, I tell them just go talk to Greg, and I tell Greg that all the time. We actually talked the other day about doing another GadgetCast or maybe a final GadgetCast, and I was like, why don't we just do a final one and say goodbye and everything and have fun. He said, well, we should probably just do that in person rather than streaming. I'm like, oh, okay. So Jonathan Morrison earlier this week, reached out to me and just asking how I was doing, and was invited me to come back out there. I love Claremont so much; it's really my favorite place on earth. So the plan was to come out there in the next week or two, and I was like, hey, Greg, can you come? It'd be great, And he looked up some stuff, but the thing is, he's going like to Japan and some other stuff. He's just too highfalutin now. He's too big time.
Is he renting Luke Miani's Airbnb in Japan?
Those guys, they're all big time now. They leave me behind. Greg is going to Japan and stuff. So once he finds some extra time later in the year, maybe we'll get back together. But he's too highfalutin for me now. He's big time. I'm a small YouTuber again. I've started over, so basically a small YouTuber.
But doesn't he know that like one of these days you're going to eat something off Amazon that'll kill you, and he's got to get his time in with you now?
The thing about it is, you're not completely wrong. So because every person I talk to, I'm like, who watches the channel and have seen at least a couple videos, are like, these videos are really good and they're like really addictive, and we're getting better. Me and my editor are going back and forth. We're getting better and better. At some point, this thing, well, listen, it better take off. I'm going to get depressed if it doesn't. But yeah, when it does, the potential audience is massive, as I know Renee, because you deal with a lot of the people that do some of the similar stuff that I do. So the potential to just skyrocket past him, and trust me when I tell you, I will dunk all over him the day that I passed him in subs. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time.
As long as you don't hurt yourself while you're doing it.
I tried to dunk over Greg.
Yeah, we gotta get Greg back down to earth. We gotta get him back. Yeah. So Renee, how long has it been now? What, 7-8 months now? Maybe 9 months?
Yeah.
Damn,
yeah, since last July.
Time flies. Last July. Okay, so time flies, man. And I think it seems to me, Renee, that you are having the time of your life, and I just love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, it's the best thing I've ever done. I get to finish almost every day, and it sounds like a cliche, but I get to finish almost every day knowing that I made a significant difference in the life of like creators, especially marginalized creators, like people you don't see or hear about all the time, but like sometimes really need help, and it's amazing.
So do you do like a lot of Teams or Zoom meetings, and then occasionally have to go to like a corporate office or something, or how's that work?
Yeah, I mean, I'm remote, like, so I work from home. YouTube is not huge in Canada. Like, there's a Toronto office, but it's not like huge in Canada. And my manager is at YouTube HQ, so I've been there a few times. I went to the LA office a couple weeks ago. I'm going to be in the San Francisco office in a few weeks. So go to the New York office sometimes, which is nice. It's right above Chelsea Market, which is a beautiful place.
I don't know who you have to talk to, Renee, but whoever you need to talk to, just let them know that Viper requests your presence at VidSummit this year. We need you at VidSummit.
Right.
That was awesome last year, man. We need you back.
Yeah. I like Dave Rubinson. He was great too on stage, because he's just like, he knows so much, and he's been at YouTube for so long, and he's so smart. And just talking to him was so much fun.
I'm excited because I VidSummit was always my favorite thing to go to. When I missed it last year, I was a little heartbroken by it. But now it's going to be weird because in a different place. So hopefully better, right? I mean, the assumption is it'll be better. But I really liked being in the hotel, and it was all right there, and it was kind of. The ironic thing is where it was, there wasn't a lot of places to go in the immediate area. It was actually in a really
not at all.
place. So I wonder if this is any different. I haven't gone to Google Earth and looked at it or anything. Maybe I will later.
Well, Viper, tell Daryl, like, you need me to be there to talk about something YouTube-y, and then he can say that, and then I'll tell him, look, they say they need me to go there and talk YouTube.
I'm pretty sure that
I have no choice.
Daryl would 100% say that. I can't imagine he wouldn't.
We need Renee here to talk YouTube-y stuff. Send him, and they'll be like, oh, damn it, okay.
I mean, that's all it takes. And I can definitely put in the work. I can see what I can do about that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll follow up. That way he's.
I'll just go and I'll say, look, they say that they're all confused about this YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the thing.
Go there.
Viper does it, and then I wait a day or two, and then I do it. All of a sudden, it seems like that it's becoming a trend. He's like, "Oh crap! It seems like a bunch of people are asking for Renee to be there." We get like 4 other people, and then he's got like 4 people message him. It's like, okay, I guess we need to make that happen.
Yeah.
Just don't let
All
us
right,
see this live stream, so it's not like we gotta get rid of this evidence.
All right, Renee. So, Last of Us, Mandalorian. I think a lot of people are watching Andor too. Have you been watching any of these shows lately, Renee, at all?
I haven't watched Georgia's been doing an amazing series of videos on The Last of Us that I haven't watched yet because I haven't even started it. I want to just sit down and enjoy it. Like, I got to find a period of time where I can just watch it.
Yeah.
And that's a lot for me because I don't I'm so burned out on zombie stuff, but I understand this is totally different, but it's just this is going to be the zombie thing I watch this decade. So I'm going to set a time. I've started Mandalorian. I'm 2 episodes in. What was the third one that you mentioned?
Andor. I know I haven't watched it, but I know people have been watching Andor.
No, yeah, Georgia just started watching that. She told me it was really good, and I watched the first episode of Picard, and it didn't seem terrible. So I might finish that season.
Yeah. I don't know what it's going to take, Renee, or what you got going on, but you need to sit down and watch The Last of Us. You need to do that.
I am so far behind, on TV.
I'm behind too.
I'm at an age now where I can't edit and watch TV at the same. I used to when I was much younger, I would have music and TV and video games, and I'd be sitting there editing, and everything was in the proper place in my brain. And now it's just wait a minute, that didn't. I pause, and then I'm fixing it, and it's 3 hours later, and I missed it. I'm all my time to watch it.
Hefe, you behind too? You haven't watched The Last of Us either?
Listen, I played the games. I haven't watched the show. I might watch.
Which is the show where Pedro Pascal takes care of a kid in transit?
Yeah. So the game was amazing, and the story in the game was amazing. So I have a feeling all they have to do is basically just make the game into a TV show, and then it's going to be
that's literally what they did. Almost 1-to-1, almost.
Well, that's good.
There's this amazing video, 2-part video with Hayden Hillier-Smith where he interviews the editors, and one editor has never played the game, and the other one knew everything about the game.
You get not just coming to my live with editing me, Greg. What do you mean it's overrated? See, only Greg. I'm gonna take that as you trolling, Greg. There's no way the show is got to take out of here, Greg. Stop it.
Contrarian, Greg.
Was he talking about The Last of Us or the I can't tell what he's canceling right now.
He's talking about The Last of Us being a 6 out of 10. He's out of his mind. He just said that Pedro Pascal and too many things find a new actor. I can't take this man nowhere, yo. We can't take him anywhere, yo.
After Wonder Woman 1984, he was just used up.
Yeah, but I love Mandalorian, but I've not started this season, and the main reason is because I don't want to have to wait every week with any kind of bated breath. So I just like to binge everything. Just give me everything, and I can go through it. How many episodes is it in right now for the season?
I think this week will be episode number 4,
right?
Yeah,
okay.
Episode 4.
I need at least 5 before I'll even start to watch it. That way I can kind of
one more week. Then you got one more week.
I'll wait another week before I start.
What I've been doing, because I don't have time to pay attention, as I've been putting on old shows. I put on the first season of Person of Interest, and I just let it play because I'd seen it. I didn't have to worry about watching it. I just watched him beat the snot out of people for 24 episodes, with style. You gotta appreciate this. It's I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but he's basically he was Spec Ops, and he ended up being a CIA operator, and then he's all out of everything, but he comes back and man just walks into a bar, all of a sudden you see bodies flying out the window.
I love that.
It's that kind of show.
I love that type.
Or 2 other points. One is when he knocks the snot out of somebody, he takes their gun, which was unusual for TV at the time.
Okay.
He doesn't leave them all armed to come back at. And the other thing is if he wants to get you, he doesn't do all these elaborate things. He just drives a truck into you. And then he's done. He walks away. He's fine.
This thing. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Don't watch the other. Just watch the first season. It gets really convoluted after the first season. The first season's a beautiful family.
I love Renee trying to simplify. It's not that simple, Renee. I love it though.
No, it gets really complicated. The first season is when they lay everything out. The first season is it gets really into the lore and mythology of everything after that. So it's, but first seasons can be really good or really bad. If they're really good, it's often downhill after that, and you can just watch the first season or 2 and enjoy.
All right, it's on Prime, so I'm gonna add it into my list after I watch Top Gun probably tonight on Prime.
Yeah, Person of Interest is probably.
Have you seen it yet?
I have not seen it. That's why I'm so excited. Prime.
Oh, okay.
I heard it's
Oh, yeah.
good.
You'll enjoy.
Yeah, Top Gun Maverick is
Yeah.
very good. I enjoyed it. I'm not really a
Very
big Top Gun fan, but it was a good movie.
I mean, Tom Cruise is his egg is scrambled, but he's in some good movies.
It's such a good movie that it makes the first one palatable again.
Oh god.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember after I watched. I'm funny because I hadn't seen the first one in 30 probably a decade or so. So I went and watched the movie, and as I watched the new one, I went back and I watched the first one. So yeah, a good movie. Definitely a good movie. Tom Cruise egg scrambled.
Yeah, that dude's a little strange.
Oh man. Yeah.
It's like Oprah couch jumping strange.
He lives in the upside down. For real.
Yeah. What was about that you were about? Oh man. Right. Because you hate what happens when you like think about something right at the tip of your brain and then you just forget what it is. Like, don't get old,
Tom
folks.
Cruise scrambled.
Yeah,
Couldn't finish it.
Don't get old, folks. Yeah, we're not gonna get into the whole Scientology thing and how he's not gonna be involved in it.
Lots of documentaries that are interesting to watch.
Involved in his daughter's life and all that stupid stuff. It's not, crazy. Little nutty. Little nutty what's going on with him, but it is what it is.
Yes, I'm hoping to go to California to hang out with Jonathan Morrison, and I was hoping to hang out with Austin Evans too, but apparently he is expecting. So I guess by the time I get there, he may not be around. I was talking to Matt and Cini last night, my dude. We were trying to figure out like a date to come through, and they're really trying to get videos out right now while Austin is, prepared. Am I supposed to even say that? I don't know. I think it's well known, isn't it? I don't know. Anyway, I'm supposed to go see Austin, but I don't think he's going to be there. So I'm gonna hang out with Jonathan Morrison and do some music things. He's got a studio now with more Atmos stuff. Last time Greg and I were out there, he is in love. First of all, I've known and been supporting Atmos since that stuff came out many a year ago. I feel like I was a trendsetter. I've had a surround sound system connected to my television for about 20 years in one form or fashion. I'm way ahead of the game for that. So Jonathan Morrison comes up with his better skills and good looking looks and all this stuff and does all this cool music and does better stuff because he's more skilled at it than me. And then he takes all the credit. But look, he put together that one studio. I don't know if you heard it, Renee.
Yeah, I was there right after you left. Like if you had just like forgotten to leave, I would have seen you.
I would have loved to have stayed. Now, here's the thing. He has a new studio now with like more Atmos stuff. My dude is upside down for the Atmos. Let me tell you something.
I don't blame him. That sound quality is legit, man.
Listen, man, let me tell you something. Yeah. This room I'm in now that used to be my home theater was set up for Atmos like 8 years ago, and it's fantastic. It's the chef's kiss of audio, it really is. But he's doing stuff that is fantastic. I'm so excited that someone like him that's as passionate and as skilled as he is doing cool stuff with it and showing people how cool 3D audio is. It always has been awesome. It's just that up until very recently, it was either too expensive for most people to experience, or people just didn't, like you had to have an actual receiver and speakers all over and all this thing that most people can't.
I still remember the first time I went into a properly done 5.1 system, and I was watching like a movie I'd seen 100 times, and like something fell behind me, like
that's why I had like a 5.1 system for many years, because that always did it. And then I started going to the movie theater less because I'm like, why do I need it?
Yeah,
I got it.
So I got 7.1, and only Star Trek Blu-rays or DVD supported it, so I bought a ton of Star Wars stuff, just like Star Trek stuff. So I can listen to it 7.1.
That's why you got to have your receiver up convert all that, upscale it. But now that audio,
I don't think we did it back then.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably back then, probably not. But that's why it's cool to see all these formats being supported. And even I'm on the fence about it for music. I'm gonna be real honest. I'm on the fence about it for music. I like the broader straight. Actually, when Jonathan Morrison does it, I'm cool because he does a great job. But in general, I'm a little bit like, when it comes to music.
You listen to concert music, it's amazing because you can hear like the violins and like the string, like it's ridiculous.
I agree with you there. When you have a big ambient area around you and stuff, I agree. That's probably the best use of it. Sometimes I hear stuff and I'm like, what are they just did that just because they could, not because it's any good.
Yeah. But when you're like John Williams or Howard Shore, or even like the more modern Avengers themes go off on that, it's unbelievable.
I remember when I was watching, I was watching a movie on my iPad and I had my AirPods Max on, and there was a neighbor was knocking on somebody's wall or something. I thought somebody was knocking at my door. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I love that. It's the best.
Crazy sound. So Renee, what's the last movie you saw in the movie theater?
Hmm. In like halfway between the pandemic, we had like this short moment where we thought the world was going to normalize again, and a bunch of YouTubers rented out a theater, so there was only like 20 of us in the place, and then we all watched No Way Home.
Ooh, nice. Do you have any interest in John Wick?
Oh, I do.
I loved the first John Wick. It started to get like a little over the top for me with the second one. I have not seen the third one, but like John Wick is one of my favorite movies because, and Travis will appreciate this, Keanu's team managed to do full, like from judo grappling range to combat, like Masada Yubel style combat handgunning, and flow like back and forth seamlessly forget yeah, I have like love for wire fu, deep like abiding love for like the Jackie Chan and like gonna be like all of that stuff. But what they did with like judo throw, arm break, shoot the guy in the leg, like and work your way up, like as if you were like, it's just so well done that I have a deep abiding love for that movie.
So 3, I didn't know 4 was out now, but 3. So I loved all of them. What I want to see, 3 was kind of gory in some part. It was a little extreme at times, but I still loved it. I got to rewatch 3 before I watch 4. But one that for me is equal, if not, kind of battling, is Equalizer. And I would love to see an Equalizer Wick crossover movie. Like I could die at the end of that. I'd be good.
With Denzel though, right? Not Latifah.
Denzel,
yeah, gotta be Denzel.
I don't acknowledge the television show. I'm talking about.
Charles, what is that? Yo, we don't talk about it here.
Talk about that.
I will tear you apart piece by nasty little piece.
The television show is not.
I don't remember the original.
One of my friends got killed in the first Equalizer movie.
Really?
He was in the scene
in the theater, or actually in the movie?
In the movie, he was in this like the very first scene that Denzel goes in and kills a bunch of guys. He was in that scene.
Yeah.
He got cracked on the bar thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, is that awesome. Dude? Is that my friend? And sure was.
Yeah, those Equalizer movies are I love those movies, and they're making a third one too. So I'm waiting for that to come out.
Yeah, I hope. The problem with that is, again, I love it. 2 was pretty good. I really loved 1. 2 was pretty good. I don't know if it was
2 had Pedro Pascal, so Greg is going to be incredibly negative in the chat again.
I need to rewatch 2 again, and I need to watch 3 Wick before I watch 4. But I'm worried about Denzel because I love Denzel to death. I think he's an incredible actor, incredible. At some point, with all these years being added on and these miles being put on him, I'm just afraid he's going to be Steven Seagal in one of these movies, and then it's over.
No, but maybe he'd be like Clint, where he's like 803 and still like Dirty Harrying it up. Like How old was he in Unforgiven? I forget, but like Clint looked.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Like he'd been around many a year.
Some of the things that I mean, yeah, you can edit some. You can edit around some of it, but I don't know.
Stunt double, Travis. Stunt double, bro. That's what they do about that.
Yeah, but you can always tell. I don't want that. Well, listen.
Did you see the trailer for Jackie's movie that just came out? He's like he's training a horse to be a stuntman.
Oh my God, Jackie, what are you doing?
Jackie Chan and his new disciple is a horse.
Well, here's where you use AI and deep fakes, and then I'm okay with it. Do it for the next Equalizer 25, and it looks like the young Denzel, and I can't tell the difference. Okay, fine. But yeah. I love Jackie. I met him and everything.
Oh, you met him? Okay.
Jackie's the man.
Jackie's the man. I'm looking forward to him and Chris Tucker reuniting for Rush Hour 4. That's gonna be something.
You know that I met Jackie though. I told you this a long time ago on MTV.
I don't remember this, but that's cool that you met him though.
You don't know this? Here, let me see if I can. You don't know this?
I remember. I think you posted something on Twitter about it. I think.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. I remember you posting a tweet about it. Yeah. You got a picture with him too, right?
I was in a TV show with him.
Oh, excuse me. You were in a TV show.
I'm surprised you don't know this. Hold on. Let me share my screen. I was positive you would know this. Now, I look a lot different back then because it was a long time ago.
Do you look exactly like Chris Tucker, or are you playing a buddy cop?
Had hair. All right, hold on.
Hair, yo.
Now I share my screen. Okay. Entire screen. Boom.
Drunken Master was amazing.
That's from the video where I'm interviewing him.
Oh, okay.
Yes. This was before there was ever even a Rush Hour 2.
We don't have sound though.
No, I know now. I know. You don't want no copyright claim.
Oh, okay. Oh, the music. Okay.
Blocked everywhere. I don't want to share too much. You're going to get that copyright claim.
Is that you or a young Chuck D?
I know, right? Oh, Chuck D was awesome.
So Travis with hair. Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah, it was a thing once upon a time.
So what TV show were you on with him?
MTV's Fanatic. I don't know if you
MTV
remember that.
Fanatic. Right?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Interesting.
Back before there were stands.
Yeah, when they still played music.
No doubt. All right. Before we get out of here for tonight, Renee, you got anything special going on coming up in your world?
No, just hanging around, doing the creator thing, living that creator life.
There you
So I
go.
figure out what to do with my channel now that I don't do product stuff anymore.
Mm.
It's like every week. I used to always know exactly what video I was doing. It's what did Apple do today? That's the video I'm doing.
Mm.
Now I got no earthly idea what video I'm doing next. It's so much more work.
Oh, how did I not ask you about this? I'm so glad you said something, Renee. It just triggered me to ask you the question. What are your thoughts on all the garbage controversy about the fake moon pictures? I think it's much ado about nothing. What are your thoughts?
I mean, like, I think it's like a common opinion. I'm like, I think like AI, all the things, just be upfront about, and like every company is like not upfront about things. So like it's like whatever like you want to say about Samsung, but like just like make good pictures and then like just tell like be honest about it in your ads. Like I think their ads did make it look like they had like this amazing zoom that would take a picture of the moon, and like then I would expect it to take pictures of everything like that, and it don't, so I'd be like upset, like, oh, I'm trying to take a picture of that airplane, that don't look good, what the hell, like what, fix that airplane for me. So yeah, like I think just give people good pictures, make them happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I kind of felt like the whole controversy was overblown because we all know that the cameras are using AI. They're literally using image processing after the picture is taken anyway. So
way too much.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but I mean it's been out there for a long time. So the whole getting overblown over the moon or overreacting over the moon pictures, I was like, yo, you all didn't realize that.
I'm also like,
now.
Listen, I need to be in the.
I'm 99% sure that this was a controversy 2 years ago as well. Like,
yeah,
I think these things just come up over and over again.
Yeah, you're right. It was kind of, yeah, and it's not even only not just Samsung. Huawei got caught doing the same thing, I think. What were you saying, Travis?
Yeah.
When did you guys? I need to be in analytics more often. This just shows like how little I'm in analytics anymore. When did this new retention graph thing come out? That thing is legit.
What?
Which one are you looking at?
The one of detailed activity. What is that all about? Huh?
Are you talking about the audience retention graph?
Yeah. Here, I'll share my screen. This is pretty. I wish I. Well, listen. Hopefully, my channel will get to the point where. My new channel gets to the point where this even makes sense, but I'm looking at my old channel. Let's see, screen share. So you have your normal retention, right? And you got compared to other videos, so it's just worded differently. But this detailed activity is on fire.
Oh yeah.
Wow. When did this start?
Oh, yeah. That's been there a while, I think.
It's hard to say because like YouTube rolls things out like 1% experiments, 10% experiments, 50%, 100% experiments. So, but this has been a couple weeks.
This is fantastic.
3 weeks, 4 weeks? I'm not sure.
Some people started watching 21.
If you get stuff out of it, let me know. I'll pass along the feedback.
I wish that they would have kept the subscribe. Well, I mean, I already know the numbers always ended up being the same, but I really like the subscribe, unsubscribe, liked and stuff. But this is actually infinitesimally more important. Wow. Why would you start watching my video 30 seconds in? And how? You just pray and go, let me just, okay, that looks good. I don't do intros anymore. There's no reason to do that. I literally start talking at the beginning.
Unless somebody shared a link that was time coded, and that became a popular share.
Interesting.
That's
fantastic.
You can see.
Whoever's in charge of that, bravo freaking vo. I love it. That's fantastic.
Patricia, you can probably Patricia. You can see her on the Creator Insider videos.
Tell her I said what's up, and that's amazing. I love it.
Travis, besides hanging out in California, you got anything special coming up in your world?
I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow or not. I don't know. If I don't, then I'm just going to keep my mind busy by doing stuff that doesn't. I'm watching lots of reality TV, and I guess now this new show that y'all told me to watch.
Yeah.
Not much else. Oh, and then I'm shooting some new footage. So The unfortunate thing is the whole Nathan thing happened in the middle of me shooting a video. So I'm going to finish that and explain why it kind of ended so abruptly. And then I'm going to start a new video, I think, next week. And then when I get out to Jonathan, hopefully I'll be doing another video. So all this for Travis Tries. So hopefully that stuff continues to come out. I'm enjoying it, and I hope everyone else is too.
That is awesome, man. It's always good as a creator when you can just make the content that you enjoy making. And that's a good way to be, man. I'm glad you're having fun with that.
Yeah.
What are you up to these days, White?
Oh, what am I up to these days? Just taking one at a time, doing the work thing, as you know. I know Matt sent me out their new chargers. So I need to do a video about that. I still need to do a review about the S23 Ultra. So, just doing the tech thing. What's going on here?
And what are you watching?
Oh, what am I watching? Well, right now I'm watching The Mandalorian.
Nice.
I was watching the last book week to week when it was on, so that's done. So I'm done with that. And these days I'm playing Resident Evil 4 came out last night, so I'm playing that.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's a damn good game. I never played the original one, so this is my first time into it with the remake. And these Resident Evil remakes have been damn good. So I got through 2 a few days ago. I got through 3 before that. So now I'm playing 4 and having a blast.
I'm just getting rid of all these spam.
You're killing spam, Travis.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
DM me because we have some beta rules that might help you, and you can tell me what you think of them.
Listen, I'm up for it. Even though my channel's dead, they still come for me. That's kind of sad. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah, tech is a lucrative niche for them.
I guess it's so great. I love the thing that what's his name did a video a couple days ago.
Jerry.
Yeah,
Jerry Rig Everything.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That sounds like, that was something like I would have done. Like I literally would have had that conversation. So I was really glad to see someone else kind of do that.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, I appreciate all of y'all in the chat hanging out tonight. And I appreciate Travis and Renee both making the time tonight. It's been a long time. It's always good to get them back on the live stream. So thank you both, gentlemen. Appreciate y'all making the time, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it. Always good to see you too, Travis.
Good to see you. Listen, Renee, don't stop being a stranger. What's wrong with you?
I'm not a stranger. I'm here on the YouTubes every day.
literally.
Somebody's got to shovel those videos into the stream.
Literally, Renee is like everyday YouTube. Oh man.
And then Todd's got to run around and put them all in the right slots, like Men in Black 2.
Right. Yeah,
give everybody their videos.
Gotta put all the videos in the right place at the right time for the right people.
Todd had the best out of office I've ever seen in my life, and I'm going to steal it from him. Whoa. It was just amazing.
Oh yeah, he's fantastic.
What did he put up there? What was it?
I put it up. I'll tell you after the stream. It's nothing bad. It's just really. It's like the best out of office I've ever seen. It's just basically listen. Don't. different wording. Just different wording. Like
There you go. Hey, one time when you were away, you were away. But y'all have a great weekend. I'll see y'all next week. Be kind, be safe out there, and I will catch y'all on the social media. And like Alex Todd said, just don't, y'all. Don't do it.
Just don't.